Hi everyone, welcome to your Pick a Pile reading. So today we're going to be looking at who is thinking about contacting you. So if you guys are new to the channel, I do timeless readings, which means that whenever you find this video is when you're meant to hear the messages within it. And if you guys have any ideas for another Pick a Pile video, I would love to hear them in the description below, or rather the comment section below. And without any further ado, we have pile number 1 here with the Gilded Tarot, pile number 2 with the Morgan Greer Tarot, and then pile number 3 with the Sun and Moon Tarot. So with that being said, I'm just going to give you guys a little bit of time to choose, and then I'm going to get started with pile number 1. All right. So if you guys haven't chosen, I highly recommend going back and pausing and making a decision. But we are going to get started with pile number 1. All right, pile number 1. So I just want to give you guys a quick reminder that in case you enjoyed the reading, the best way to let me know is by leaving a like or a comment. But your overall energy here is the Two of Cups. Now, that automatically gives me, lets me know that you guys are dealing with some kind of soulmate, right? And my Two of Cups is my soulmate card energy, right? So I think that for a lot of you guys, you're really dealing with somebody that you've had kind of a lot of history with. And I feel like, you know, if you're wondering if they're going to contact you, you guys are in separation already. So that kind of lends itself to kind of a twin flame connection here because we have the Two of Cups. So just know that this person has a lot of history with you and probably like a very deep soul connection. And just when I say history, I don't necessarily mean history within this lifetime, because if you guys are twin flames, you may have had multiple lifetimes together. But like I was saying, I certainly get there is somebody who has very, very heavy soul connection with you. And we have the Sun card and the Five of Cups here. So I think that, like I was saying, there may be a lot of history here for some of you, and you may have in the past talked to this person, or there may be been some conflicts in the past, something along those lines. Because the Five of Cups talks about making the best out of sort of a less than stellar situation, right? So it's like you got let's say like a glass of milk or something, and you spill half of it, and then you decide to drink the rest and just wipe up whatever spilled over, right? So it's like you're just trying to make the best of it, because this guy has 5 cups, but 3 of them spilled over, and now there's only 2 left. And like, it might be a little bit hard to see in the camera, but you can see that this person has been kneeling down praying. And I feel like that is kind of representative of your person. I feel like, especially if they're very religious, they've been really trying to pray to whatever, their belief is, to try to manifest you back into their life. Because I certainly get that energy of separation. I don't know why I wanted to say disconnect. I feel like you guys may be disconnected, as in unfriended, or maybe even blocked, or maybe they changed their number or don't have a phone anymore, something like that, that would literally disconnect you. But either way, we have the Sun card here, which is the happiest card in the tarot. So I feel like this person will absolutely contact you. It's just a matter of time for them to make the move. So a little bit more on as to who this is. We have the King of Wands here in reverse. So The King of Wands is representative of fire signs, so it could be that your person has some fire in their chart, such as Leo, Aries, or Sagittarius. But because it's in the reverse, it tells me that this person might be on a little bit more of the immature end of the fire energy. Right? So the fire energy, when it's manifesting itself in an immature energy, can be very just that, immature, very hyperactive, and very unaware of other people, other feelings, and other people's feelings and other people's needs, right? So fire signs can have that tendency to be a little bit on the egocentric side, especially when they're unevolved, because Aries, for one, is the sign of self, and then you have Leo that's ruled by the sun, and all the other planets revolve around it, so they have sort of that kind of spotlight energy. And then Sagittarians just are very outgoing, very sort of free spirit kind of, and they don't necessarily do the best in kind of like energies where they have to deal with other people, even though they are so social. But remember that this is on the unevolved spectrum. So I feel like maybe in the past when you met this person, this is the energy that they were in, but now it's no longer that way. Either way, we have the Knight of Cups, which ensures that there's going to be some kind of a message that comes in of an emotional variety, right? So I feel like this could be a couple different things. I'm getting like the words, I'm sorry, but you mean a lot to me. Like that's coming out very strongly. And it feels like it's not even like a love proposal or anything. It's just like them wanting to tell you that very genuinely and not expecting anything out of it. I feel like they've kind of let go of their expectations a little bit, and they just want you to know what is on their mind. And it feels very vulnerable and very honest and genuine. So I feel like that's a really good movement from what energy was in the past, especially here with this energy. But like I was saying, the Knight of Cups is an emotional message. So for a lot of you guys, that might be an apology. For a lot of you guys, that might actually be some kind of a love proposal. I feel like this person has kind of been a little bit in and out of your life, so they know that they can't just come back in and say, hey, by the way, I love you, we should be together, right? It feels like they need to really work their way up for that, and they're ready to not be forgiven. But in spite of that, they still want you to know how they feel, right? And I feel like you want to sort of be with them as well, because you have the Wheel of Fortune with the Ten of Pentacles, which are like amazing energies. The Wheel of Fortune talks about, a lot of times I attribute it to this sort of upswing and downswing kind of energy. So I'm thinking that right now you guys are going to feel like you're really having a lot of luck in sort of those areas where you may not have in before. And one of those areas probably particularly being love. I feel like that's all going to change, and there's going to be a huge shift in the energies, and all your negatives are kind of going to be canceled out and become positives. And also we have this energy of the Ten of Pentacles. And what does the Ten of Pentacles say? It talks about a happy home environment, right? And whatever that looks like to you is obviously going to be different, but I like to call it my sort of happy wife, happy life card. So like I said, for some of you guys, the ideal sort of home environment might be, you know, a house, white picket fence, 2 kids, a dog, whatever. And then for others of you guys, it might be like a luxury apartment downtown, like 20 minutes from the beach, whatever. Like it all is different for you guys. So I know that you guys are working towards it, and it's like your eyes are on the prize here. And with the Wheel of Fortune, you're experiencing that luck and fortune. And with this Sun card, you're going to get it. So pile number 1, this was a phenomenal energy. I do feel like they're going to contact you probably sooner than later, but there are a little bit of hang-ups here. I can sense the energy, but I'm seeing that with this Sun card and this Wheel of Fortune, like that's a powerful combination. And I feel like you guys are going to have the happiness that you want. Like I feel like you guys really want this person to reach out, and they will. So that was your reading for this pile. If you guys enjoyed, you're more than willing to go back and choose another pile, but please leave a like or a comment, because it really helps out the channel. And I personally really love to know if these readings resonate with you guys. But I'm going to move on to pile number 2. All right, pile number 2. All right, pile number 2. So, if you guys enjoy the reading, I do just want to let you guys know that the best way to let me know is by leaving a like or a comment. But we have as your overall energy here the 9 of Pentacles. So the 9 of Pentacles is a card about independence and sort of emotional stability, right? Financial stability. That's what I mean by independence. Like, you're not necessarily waiting for anyone, doting on anyone, or anything like that. But I'm getting that for sure. With this energy, you're ready to sort of move into that 10 of Pentacles energy, right? Because once you have the 9 of Pentacles, you're pretty much set on your money, you're pretty much set on your emotional stability, you're pretty much set on your sort of career and work situation, right? So it's like everything is squared away, and sort of the last box that you're going to try to check off here is that of the sort of love department, right? And I feel like for a lot of you guys, you're waiting on this person to sort of come back in because you're not really ready to settle for, okay, ready is not the right word. You don't want to settle for less than you want, right? I feel like you guys kind of know already that this is sort of like, for a lot of you guys, I'm getting it might be even a twin flame connection, but I'm getting that there's some heavy, heavy, heavy spiritual energy here. And you know that it's there and you want it to sort of come into fruition. And that's why you have, so I'm sorry, I just heard like, honestly, like really scared me. I heard like some kind of like screaming or even like a baby crying. So like there's nothing here in the house that would be like that. So it's I'm getting that for some of you guys, you might actually be expecting children soon. But with this High Priestess, I'm getting that you guys are very powerfully intuitive. So you kind of already know, right? I feel like this reading is more meant to be a confirmation of what you know in your head than me telling you something that you don't know. And I feel like, if anything, the most surprising thing that you'd like get from this reading is this King of Swords energy with this Two of Wands. I feel like this person is trying to sort of play it cool, be like the sort of strong, stoic, silent type. But with this Two of Pentacles, I feel like they're really trying to come up with a plan, right? They're trying to figure out what it is that they want to do and how they want to do it. And I feel like they're going to move forward with you, right? The fact that they, like, to answer the question, are they going to reach out to you? Are they going to contact you? Yeah, for sure, because the Two of Wands is just that. It's planning how to do it. They've already made up their mind, and now they're trying to see how they're going to get there using the tools and resources that they have. And then we have the High Priestess down here, and then the Empress up here. So it really feels like they are seeing you and viewing you as this very powerful Empress energy, where they're like madly in love with you. Like, let's get that straight. They're like head over heels for you. And because the Empress is that sort of divine counterpart to the Emperor, right? And regardless of if you or they are the Emperor or the Empress, like, that doesn't really matter so much as the fact that there is that energy exchange going on between the two of you. And with this Ace of Swords, like, I'm getting that there's going to be a very strong new beginning here in communication, right? And this reading is all about communication. I feel like everything else is there. I feel like both of you know that the love is there. Both of you know that I'm getting that both of you are in this sort of Nine of Pentacles energy, where you're ready to move on to the next step, which would be like probably moving in together, or like even starting a family for some of you guys, right? But I feel like the stability is there. I feel like all that's really missing is for you guys to come together and have this communication. And we have the Emperor here as well, which is kind of a card that I've been not really talking about as much. But the Emperor talks about going deep within and really evaluating things, deep introspection. And because it's in reverse, they're coming out of that and they're really trying to come clean and come open with the energy that they are experiencing, and the things that they want to tell you are going to be honest and genuine. And I feel like this is also representative for some of you guys, especially those of you who are on a twin flame journey, that the separation period is over and you're going to start to come back into reunion. And I feel like, again, you guys know that with the High Priestess, and again with the Empress, like you feel the energy, you feel it energetically happening, but this is sort of like your reading to confirm that for sure. So that was your reading for pile number 2. If you guys enjoyed this, you're more than welcome to go back and choose another pile, but I thank you so much for watching the video, and I do encourage you guys to please leave a like or a comment if you enjoyed. But with that, I'm moving on to pile number 3. Oh, dropped a card. All right, pile number 3. So we already have some cards that flipped over in the deck. Do know that I see the cards that flipped over in the deck. However, I usually don't take those kinds of cards. I really only take cards that jump out like these ones have, or that fall out of the deck. That's just the way that I read tarot. All right, so I feel like this is a little bit less than organized energy here. I feel like even though they kind of want to, there's a lot of things in the way, right? And I feel like this reading in particular was a lot less uniform than the other two. For one, there were a lot of cards that were flipped over in the deck. For two, the cards fell out a lot more than they would normally in much bigger groups. And then as your overall energy, we have the Five of Pentacles, or sorry, the Five of Wands, right? And the Five of Wands is conflict, strife, and competition. And I feel like with that comes a lot of sort of this chaotic energy and confusion and strife. So are they wanting to contact you? I would say yes, but there's a lot of things that they're kind of dealing with right now, right? And like, unfortunately, like, especially if this is a love reading, the Five of Wands talks about sort of this competition energy. So it might be that they're dealing with other people, possibly karmic partners, who they're trying to really settle the debt with. But I do see this Death card along with this Fool card. Now, the Death card can be a bit of a scary card, but it's a little bit less scary in this deck than other decks because it's not so much about that sort of death element as much as it is about the new beginning that comes after it, because there's this Phoenix symbolism, and it is representative of the fact that once something ends or quote unquote dies, it leaves space for a new beginning, right? So it's like pulling a weed out of your life so that there is more room and sort of more resources and nutrients for the plants and flowers to grow. And with that being said, we also have the Fool card, which is another big powerful energy when it comes to new beginnings. So it feels like in order for this person to reach out to you, which honestly I feel like they do, I don't see any kind of energy that would suggest otherwise. It's just a matter of having these two energies of new beginnings come in, because I feel like right now the point that they're at is a little bit difficult for them to probably connect with you in the way that you want them to, in the way that they want to, even though I'm getting the energy that one of you or the other of you might not necessarily have that high of like an expectation of what the connection needs to be right now, but I feel like the other person does, and that's kind of stopping the connection a little bit, but not in a bad way, right? Like, we all need to set our boundaries and we all need to set our expectations So to have that isn't a bad thing. I just feel like there's a lot of healing and a lot of things that need to take place here before we're really able to see this kind of connection, this kind of reunion or anything like that. And like I said, with the Nine of Wands, like that's a wounded warrior card. Like this warrior here, it's a little bit difficult to tell in the video, but he's missing an arm, yet he continues to fight and he continues to protect the wands behind him, right? And that's because he's a trooper, right? He continues even though he's in pain. And I feel like that's what this person has done for so long that they've kind of forgotten what it is to sit down and heal. So either way, I feel like there's going to be a lot of that balance and reunion because we have this Temperance card. So the Temperance card is a very powerful card when it comes to, let's say, spiritual connections. So that could be anything like twin flames to soulmates to even karmic partners, to be honest. But I'm getting for sure that with this energy, they need to balance out wanting to be with you with, or wanting to contact you at least, with their own personal healing, because I feel like they've kind of put themselves in a back seat to their own healing for a long time, if that makes sense. I feel like this is the kind of person who, okay, maybe I don't want to go that far, but I feel like this is the kind of person who puts other people's needs above their own sometimes. So they're like a little bit selfless, but I also feel like they're a little bit selfish at the same time. Like they're a little bit inconsistent, and that again comes as a result of the fact that they have this healing that they need to do that they've kind of been putting off. And once you have this Temperance card going off, like they're going to be in a better position, right? And they have this King of Swords. Now, normally, and even in the same video, I said that the King of Swords is sort of like a facade of being a little bit cold and calculating and unfeeling and unemotional. But I don't think it's that at all. I feel like, first of all, on an emotional level, they want to come forward, but also on a logical level, they want to come forward as well, because you can see this horse that's galloping towards here, and I feel it's like they want you to know that they think that you're the best, right? They think that you're great, you're awesome. I feel like they want to just like come forward. Like, this person kind of feels like a little kid, to be honest. It's like they want to come and say, you're awesome. But for sure, I'm getting that in order for them to be in this kind of energy, because they're currently in this energy, they need to go through this first, this death, this rebirth, and then this new beginning in order to be able to run forth and sort of hop on their horse and gallop away, right? Like this is the energy of wanting to ride off into the sunset. But first, the strife, first, the healing. And then after that, we have this Wheel of Fortune, which is very powerful, awesome energy. And honestly, speaking about powerful energy, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 major arcana in the 6-card reading, not including the 5 of Wands as your overall energy. But with the Wheel of Fortune, it gives you a sense of power, right? And that honestly wasn't where I was going with that, but those words came out of my mouth because I'm being guided to say them. I feel like you guys are going to feel a lot more powerful in certain ways. I'm sorry, pile number 3, the video cut off. But with this Wheel of Fortune, you guys are experiencing a lot more power in areas where maybe you've even felt powerless. So I think that it's a really good change of pace. The Wheel of Fortune represents a upswing and a change in places where you were feeling pretty down and low in the past. So I'm getting that you guys are going to experience that uplifting sort of tailwind, and it's going to feel very great. And I feel like this reading kind of became a reading about you, even though it was a reading about sort of how, will they communicate with you or not. So I'm getting the impression that you guys are really mirroring each other in that regard. And I'm not too terribly surprised, because the other 2 readings had these overtones of twin flames as well as your reading. So I'm getting that that's a very common energy in the collective right now, especially since we're going through some really turbulent times and really powerful changes in astrology in the sky, with, you know, Pluto going conjunct with Saturn in Capricorn. But either way, that was your reading for pile number 3. I see a lot of powerful energy here, especially with this sort of rebirth and new energy here. But if you guys enjoyed, you're welcome to go back and choose another pile. Like I said, pile number 1 and 2 were similar to this one. So if you're going back and forth, it's a great time to go back. And with that being said, please leave a like or a comment if you enjoyed, because I really like to know if these readings resonate with you guys. But like I said, I hope to see you guys next time for your next reading.